Hi, Honors Algebra. So this is going to be our exam review session. So here is your first problem. Once you have looked at it, go ahead and pause the video, work it out, and we will go over it here in just a second. So when you're ready to start having me go over it, you can start the video and I will. Okay, so here's what I did. I set up my chart, distance, rate, and time. Mr. Bell is going 100 miles per hour and Miss Whistle is going 80 miles per hour. They leave at the same time, so your X is your time. Mr. Bell is going east and Miss Whistle is going west. We want to know when they're 100 kilometers apart. So Mr. Bell's distance plus Miss Whistle's distance is going to be 100. So if I divide both sides by 180, I get 0.55 of an hour. So when I change that and I take that times 60, it comes out to be 33 minutes and 1/3. So 33.33. So if I subtract the 33 minutes and take the 0.333 times 60, it comes out to be 33 minutes, 20 seconds. Okay, here's problem number 2. So again, pause the video, work it out, and then come back and I'll go through it with you. Okay, so here my chart has biker 1, biker 2. Biker 1 is going 14 miles per hour. Biker 2 is going 16 miles per hour. They start at the same time, so X is time. Rate times time is distance. If they're going towards each other, we have biker 1 heading towards biker 2. We want to know when will they meet. So if they're 45 miles apart, we want to know when biker 1 plus biker 2 is 45. When I solve the equation, it comes out to be 1.5. Therefore, they will meet in 1.5 hours. All right, here's problem 3. So you are transforming this equation and solving for X. So again, go ahead and do the problem and come back and check your work against mine. So in this problem, if I want to get X by itself, I'm going to circle my X's, and that reminds me I want to get them on one side, everything else on the other. So I did the distributive property, and then I subtracted 4X from both sides. I added 6Y because I'm trying to get the X by itself. That gave me 1X plus 27. So to get the X by itself, I subtracted 27. So my answer is Y equals negative 5Z minus 27. Now, I do want to talk about when you're transforming equations. So let's say your answer, who knows what the problem was, and it doesn't really matter. Let's say we get something like this, 2AB minus 14CD over 24. Okay, so if you left your answer like that, that would not be okay. You have to make sure you break up the fractions and see if they reduce. So if I take negative 2AB over 24 and I reduce it, this would be Z equals negative AB over 12. And then over here, negative 14CD over 24 is going to give me minus 7CD over 12. So make sure you check to see if you can reduce when you're transforming equations. Here's problem 4. You're graphing. You'll have to make your own graph paper, but also while you're at it, make sure you notice it doesn't really tell you how to graph. That means you can do whatever you want to graph this problem. Okay, if I look at this problem, to me it's closest to standard form, so I divided everything by -1, and then what I did was I did my formula for slope, negative A over B, so my slope is negative 3/5. For the x-intercept, I let the y equal 0, so 3x equals 15 gives me an x-intercept of 5, 0. And then if I do the y-intercept, I'll mark out the x, and I will have 5y equals 15, so my y-intercept is 0, 3. So when I go to graph this, my x-intercept is 5, 0. My y-intercept is 0, 3. technically I have plenty of information, I can graph it, but if I want to use my slope again and I want to go down 3, right 5, I could, or I could go up 3 and left 5. I could do that too, but as long as I have enough information to graph it, I'm in good shape. Now this is not an inequality, so there's no shading involved. All right, question number 5. Go ahead and grab this. When you're ready, come back and I'll go over it with you. Okay, so this problem I know gave people trouble before. X equals -4. That means every point on this line has a value of -4 something. Doesn't matter what it is, but it has an X value of -4 something. So if I figure out where my -4 is on the x-axis, I know that this is going to be a vertical line through x equals -4. If I would ask you on the exam what is the slope of that, you would say undefined. If I said what's the y-intercept, it's not applicable because there is none. Okay, here's problem number 6, and I'll just point out to you, don't forget this is an actual inequality. Okay, so this wasn't the best example, but we'll make it work. So on this one, what I did was I solved my equation for y and put it in slope-intercept form. So as you can see, my slope is 9/1 and my y-intercept is 12. Problem is, your graph on your exam is not going to be that big, so don't worry about it. So we're just going to go for the fun of it. We're just going to pretend that we know where this is. So we're going to go up to 12. I'll go by 2s. So up 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So we'll say this is our y-intercept, and the slope is 9/1. So that would be up and right, which means it's going to be way over here. Or I could go down, let's see, 9, but I'm not actually going to go down 9 since they're worth 2 every time. So down 2, 4, 6, 8.5, and then I would go left 1. So we'll say that's our line. So notice it's greater than or equal to, which means it's going to be a a solid line. If it would have been not equal to, then we would of course made it a dotted line. So now we're ready to figure out where to shade. So we have to use our test point. So the test point I'm going to use always, if I can, is 0, 0. So if I make this a 0, -2/3 times 0 is 0. Is that greater than or equal to -6 times 0 minus 8? Well, that's 0 minus 8. So is 0 greater than or equal to -8? The answer is yes. Here's 0, 0. It works. So I want to shade this side. Okay, now of course you don't actually put a point on 0, 0. I was just showing you where the test point is. Okay, here's problem 7. So we're going to graph it. Go ahead and do that and come back and watch me go over it. Okay, so the first thing I did on this problem was I simplified the inequality into an equation. So I did the distributive property back up here, and I got -2x plus 2y. I changed the inequality to an equals because I'm graphing the equation. Is equal to -6 minus 1/3 y. Multiplied through by 3, got -6x plus 6y equals -18 minus y. I put it in standard form, so I have 6x minus 7y equals 18. If you notice, the slope is -6 over -7, so 6/7. The x-intercept, if I let the y equal 0, I get 3, 0 for my x-intercept. I'm not even going to use the y-intercept because it's a fraction. So therefore, my x-intercept is here, and my slope is 6/7. So I'm going to go up 6, right 7, so somewhere over here. It's not going to be exact. Or down 6, right 7. Again, on your exam, they're going to fit on your actual graphs. Because this was a greater than, I'm going to make a dotted line. Well, too bad it doesn't actually go through it. Now I'm going to pick a test point. Can I pick 0, 0? Yes. So if I go back up here and I put in 0, 0, so I have 0 minus 0 is greater than -6 minus 1/3 times 0. So on the right side, 0 minus 0, 0, -2 times 0 is 0, is greater than. 1/3 times 0 is 0. -6 minus 0 is -6. Is 0 greater than -6? The answer is yes. So therefore, since my test point's over here, I'm going to graph it and shade the left-hand side. Okay, last graphing one. So go ahead and graph this one and then come back and check your answer against mine. Okay, so first thing I did was I simplified the equation and I went to slope-intercept form. So I got y equals -1/3 x plus 1. My slope is -1/3. My y-intercept is 1. So I'm going to go up to 1. I'm going to put a point, and then I'm going to go down 1, right 3, down 1, right 3. Of course, I could keep going, and this is a line. It's not an inequality, so there is my problem. Okay, solve this equation. Okay, so I went through all the work, did all the work for you, and hopefully you got the answer of -135/29. Okay, next problem. All right, here's problem number 10. Go ahead and do it however you want, and come back and check your work against mine. Okay, so I did this problem as a weighted average. So I let my dimes equal 0.10 in x, and my quarters 0.25 and 153 minus x. Set up my equation equal to 2805. I solved it, came out to be x is 68. So if I take 153 minus x, I get 85 quarters. So 68 dimes, 85 quarters. Okay, here's your next story problem. So go ahead and work this one out. Come back and check your work against mine. Okay, so first of all, don't forget perimeter means double length, double width. So the width is twice the size of the length plus 2. So I let my length be L, and my width was 2L plus 2. Perimeter is 70. So I did 2 times L plus 2 times the width, which is 2L plus 2. Solved it, got L is 11. The width is 2L plus 2, so that's 24. But the key here to this problem is it says what's the area. So therefore I need to take 24 times 11, which is 264 feet squared. So make sure you read the questions carefully. Sometimes I trick you and I'm looking for something that maybe you didn't find yet. Okay, last practice problem, but don't forget you can also use the Honors 3 and the semester exam review that I have on for a video, and you can also use the one that says Honors 4 for semester exam review. So there's all kinds of other videos you can use for practice. All right, so work this one out and come back and see if we match. Okay, so find 3 consecutive odd numbers. So my definitions are x, x plus 2, and x plus 4. Twice the first, so 2x, plus 4 times the third. 4 times x plus 4 is 298. So I never even put x plus 2 in the equation. When I solve it, it comes out to be x is 47. So my 3 numbers are 47, 49, and 51. Okay, this ends the review session. So see you on Monday or see you Tuesday for the exam. Have a good day.